Welcome to another lesson. In this lesson, we are going to learn how to handle an interrupt and a term signal for our Express server so that we can properly close the database connection. So let's get started. Here I have the file server.js. In server.js, lines 71 through 73 have a call to the listen method. Now, we have on line 77 connection.in, but that's not in its proper place because by the time I hit line 71, it starts the server, but then it continues on executing the code in it automatically. And it goes on to close the connection right away, right after the server has been started, due to the asynchronous nature of JavaScript. That's not what we want. We only want to close that connection when the server is shut down. How can we do that? One way is by handling the signals for interrupt if I press Ctrl+C, and for term for termination. And once we get those signals, we can proceed to close the server right after closing the connection to the MySQL database. So let's get started. So after you make the call to listen, you can do the following. You can call on the process object, and you can call process on, and then you have to say the name of the signal that you want to do something when that is triggered. For example, SIGINT would be when I press Ctrl+C, an interrupt signal. That's what I usually do to kill my server. So let's try that out. The second argument would be the callback function you want to execute right after that signal was emitted. Let's put a console log here. SIGINT emitted. Let's see what happens. I'm going to save this. I'm going back to my terminal window where I have my server running with node_mon. I'm going to press Ctrl+C to send a SIGINT. You can see what happened. I got this text SIGINT emitted, and it seems it happens several times. Okay, so that's how we're gonna handle. And you can see my server is actually still running and address already in use. So it didn't actually close the server when I did that. Let me kill that process with px. Let me grab that, I think. Let me see. Hold on. Give me a moment here. Whatever. Yes. I'm grabbing the process number so I can kill it. Server.js. Okay. So you can, in my case, I can just do px_aux, then I pipe it to grab server.js, and I can find out that server here is running on process ID 73. I can do kill-9 7316 to kill that. Anyway, and I can restart the node_mon thing. Anyway, before doing that, let's fix this. So let's do the following. Let's say closing connection to the database. And then we are going to move line 80 connection.in here. Then finally we have to close the server to fix that problem where I have the server still running in the background. So to do that, I need a reference to the server. And there's actually a method that you can call to close the server programmatically. We can get that reference from the return value of app.listen. So let's put that in a variable called server. So app.listen will return that server, and then we can call that server.close here. And that will ensure the server is closed after ending the connection to the database. And I don't need this hello here anymore. let's try it out. Now I'm going to press Ctrl+C to send a SIGINT. And you can see it said closing connection to the database. And I can rerun it and I can still run in the same port. It no longer kept running in the background because of line 78 to close the server. There's also another signal process on SIGTERM. You can also do the same thing. Since I would be using the same code, I can just take this and put that into a function. On shutdown, for example, I can put that in an anonymous function, or I can use the keyword function. It's up to you, whatever you want. So I'm gonna place it here on shutdown and on shutdown. One thing I want to do is I want to say closing the server. Now also when the SIGTERM is emitted, that will do the same thing. Okay. So that's it for this lesson. We learned how to handle the signal SIGINT and SIGTERM so that we can call a callback function to properly close the database connection and the server. Usually, for my case, when I'm doing development, I like to kill the server with Ctrl+C. That will be the SIGINT signal. That will properly close the connection to the database and close the server. App.listen return an object that we can use and call close to end the server. With that, I'll see you in the next lesson.